What happens when the most dangerous YouTuber IshowSpeed steps inside the WWE ring? One by one, 5 ruthless WWE superstars completely destroy Speed in the most brutal and shocking matches ever imagined. These moments pushed Speed to the edge of his life and changed everything forever. Number 1. Anthony Luke vs. IshowSpeed. Anthony Luke was the very first WWE-style opponent IshowSpeed ever faced inside the ring. Speed entered the arena full of confidence, shouting, jumping, and hyping the crowd as usual. He believed his speed and energy would be enough to survive the match, but Anthony Luke had a completely different plan. From the very first bell, Anthony Luke showed no mercy. He used his superior strength and professional wrestling experience to dominate Speed. Every punch, every slam, and every throw shook Speed's body badly. The crowd quickly realized this was not a normal match. This was a brutal lesson. Speed tried to fight back with quick movements and wild attacks, but Anthony Luke countered everything. He lifted Speed high into the air and slammed him hard onto the mat. The sound echoed throughout the arena. Speed screamed in pain, holding his ribs, barely able to breathe. Anthony Luke then dragged Speed to the corner and smashed him repeatedly into the turnbuckle. Speed's chest turned red and his legs started shaking. The referee checked on Speed, but Speed refused to quit, showing his fighting spirit. The match reached its most brutal moment when Anthony Luke delivered a devastating powerbomb. Speed crashed to the mat, unable to move. His vision blurred, and he could barely lift his head. Fans were shocked seeing Speed in such horrible condition. After the match ended, medical staff rushed into the ring. Speed was carried out on a stretcher, barely conscious. This match marked the beginning of Speed's nightmare in the wrestling world. Anthony Luke proved that the ring is not a playground, it is a battlefield. Number 2. Otis vs. IshowSpeed. Otis is known as one of the most powerful and heavy-hitting WWE superstars. When Speed stepped into the ring against Otis, fear was visible on his face. Otis smiled, knowing this would not end well for Speed. The match started with Otis charging like a human tank. Speed tried to dodge, but Otis grabbed him and crushed him with a massive bear hug. Speed screamed as his body struggled to handle the pressure. Otis slammed Speed again and again, shaking the entire ring. Every move drained Speed's energy. At one point, Otis performed a brutal splash, landing directly on Speed's chest. Speed stopped moving completely. Doctors rushed in after the match, and Speed was immediately taken to the hospital. According to the fictional storyline, Speed suffered severe internal injuries and needed urgent treatment. This match proved that power can be more dangerous than speed. Number 3. Bron Breakker vs. IshowSpeed. Bron Breakker is pure destruction. Speed underestimated him, thinking he could outrun Bron. That was the biggest mistake of his life. Bron caught Speed mid-run and delivered a terrifying spear. Speed flipped in the air and crashed hard. The impact was so powerful that the crowd went silent. Bron continued the assault with brutal suplexes and ground slams. Speed's back took most of the damage. In this fictional story, Speed's spine could not handle the punishment, and he collapsed in pain. After the match, Speed was unable to stand. Medical officials confirmed severe back damage. This was the most dangerous match of Speed's career. Number 4. Randy Orton vs. IshowSpeed. Randy Orton is a legend, and legends are dangerous. Speed entered confidently, but Orton stayed calm and calculated. Suddenly, out of nowhere, RKO, Speed's body hit the mat like a lifeless object. Orton showed no emotion, delivering another RKO. Bones cracking, Speed screamed in pain. In this fictional storyline, multiple bones were broken. Orton proved why he is called the Viper. Number 5. Brock Lesnar vs. IshowSpeed. The final boss, Brock Lesnar, Speed looked terrified even before the bell rang. Lesnar destroyed Speed with suplex after suplex. Speed was thrown around like a toy. The match ended with an F5 that shook the arena. Speed was completely unconscious. This was the most brutal destruction of all.